Hello everyone, welcome to session 6. So in today's session, in the last session I have discussed about different types of selectors like contextual selectors, then pseudo elements, pseudo classes, so on. Is it right? So in today's session I am going to discuss on mainly on two topics. First one is that Cascade, how style interacts, and the second one, box model. Okay, so let me start with the first topic, that is cascade, how style interacts. And there are three types of style sheet. First one is author created, then user defined, then default browser. So there are three types of style sheets: author created, user defined and default browser. In case of author created, there it can define multiple rules for same document. For a same HTML document, it can define multiple rules. So for this reason, Cascade has a system to help a browser to determine how to display the elements which are having different style conflicts. If a same document is having different set of style rules, means for a browser there will be a difficulty to determine how to display the elements. Is it right? So in order to provide a solution, there are certain cascading principles. The word or a term cascade refers to how conflicts are handled. Cascade, the term cascade refers to how the conflictings are handled. So there are three cascading principles. There are three cascading principles as a solution. First one is inheritance. Second one is specificity. And the last one is location. Okay, so now let me start with the first principle, that is inheritance. Okay, so now there are a rich set of CSS properties. Once you make use of those CSS property, they not only affect themselves, they also affect their descendants. They also affect their descendants. So if I tell you the definition, it may not be easier for you to understand. Let me take up an example and illustrate the content. Okay, I am talking about inheritance. Okay, so now let me take one simple program. HTML, head, style. I am using an element selector, body, font, weight, bold. Font, weight, bold. Then I am introducing two more properties, that is margin and another one is border. So margin I am giving 100 pixel. So margin means it is a property used to add space around an element. Border gives you border helps you to separate element from each other. Okay. So on these two properties I am going to explain in detail in this particular topic. Time being, understand margin property adds space around an element. Border used to separate element from each other. Border I am giving solid and solid green. So this indicates border style and this indicates border color. So okay, so now this is body, so close the style and also close the head. Now open the body. So in body I am going to print a paragraph hi and another paragraph okay. Before that I am going to take div. Okay. So P hi and one more paragraph hello. Now I am going to close div, I am going to close body, I am going to close HTML. So now by looking at this I am going to write a document tree. So what is the parent? Body. So under this what you have? Div. Under div what you have? P. So for div there are two paragraphs as a child, is it right? So now I have to write it in this way, or I can write in this way. Only single child div, under that I have two child paragraph, is it right? So now what is this element selector? What you have given in the style rules. Now these properties should be affected to a content of the body. So the descendants of body are div and P. So what are the properties? Font weight is bold. Okay, margin border, that is 100 pixel and this is solid style and green color. Okay, so now what happens means there are certain properties which can be inherited to their descendants and there are certain properties which cannot be inherited. So this one can be inherited to descendants. Margin and border both are not inheriting, so not inherited. How you will get to know means, if you are applying the style rule for a body content means there are descendants div and two paragraph. For each of the descendants font weight should be bold and it should give separate margin and border for each of the descendants. As I said, this can be inherited and these two are not inherited. How? Let me run this program so you can analyze how actually it is working. So after running this program you can notice the output. Only font weight has inherited to the descendants of the body, whereas border and margin has not been created for all the descendants. Okay, so this is what happening. So the now conflict is that we are supposed to inherit these two for the what? Descendants. How it can be achieved means, there is one more chance. So for the same example, instead of setting the style rule for a body, I will change like this. Let me try, does it works? Okay, so since div contains two paragraph, I am giving a style rule for a div itself. So now by changing this, do you think that these two properties will be inherited to paragraphs, both the paragraphs? Okay, fine. So now let me run the program so that you can analyze. After running the program, you can notice the output remains same. It means that what I am saying you means both margin and border, there are certain types of properties where they are not inherited to their descendants. Okay. So now how to resolve this conflict? Yes, there is another solution. I am going to continue here. I have a space. Okay. So what I do means P, I am writing one element selector and I am taking which are all the properties which are not inherited. Margin, right? So margin I will say inherit, and border inherit. Now I am going to close the P selector. So now I am going to run the program. So can you notice the difference in the output? Now the descendant below div has inherited the properties which were not inheriting earlier. So this example proves that not all the properties gets inherited to their descendants. There are certain properties which are not getting inherited. So those things still we want to use it in our program means by making use of the value inherit, we can inherit them. Okay. So now this is the output. You can observe there is a difference in the output. This is all about inheritance. Okay. So next we will move on to our next topic. I said you right, there are 3 cascading principles. One was inheritance. Next one we will move on to specificity. I am going to write here specificity. So now I will run this entire, erase this entire program. Okay. So now better I will write the body part here. Okay. So body as one paragraph, hi, later I have div, there I have program 1, one message, okay, there another program 2 as another text. I am going to close div. After that I am going to take one class called first to print MIT. Okay. So and I am taking one ID called AB to print college. So finally close body, also close HTML. So now I am talking about the top principle specificity. So specificity, how it is going to work means, if there are different set of style rules for the same element, if there are different set of style rules for the same element, browser is going to assign certain weights. So based on that weights, it is going to give a priority and it is going to display. So this is what we call it as specificity. Okay. So now for example, body, okay, font weight bold and color I am giving green. Okay. So now let me run the program. See, I have not ended style and I have not ended head. So time being, while coding a program, I will complete it, and now you check the output. What happens? entire body contents will be in bold and also the color will be green, whereas this class and ID doesn't get execute since I have not defined the class selector and also ID selector. Okay, next I am going to write an element selector separately for div. Okay, by this time I will give color as yellow. Okay, now what happens? Inside body there is div, but what I am saying, color should be yellow, but for the entire body content color should be green. So now this time what happens? There are different style rules for the same element. Are you getting? For the same element I am giving different style. Body content should be in color green. Okay, it was fine. There is again a multiple style rule where div content should be in yellow. So div is inside a body. Earlier I was saying it should be in green color. Now it should be in yellow color. So how this conflict is resolved? So this is what saying as specificity. So in this case, browser is going to assign a weights or a priority. Based on that priority, it is going to work or to display the contents. In case of this, how it does means, since div browser is going to assign higher weight for div and div overrides body. So what is happening? Div contents will not be displayed in green color, even though it is in body, it will be printed in yellow. This is what overriding. Div overrides body. Now, next, you will have few more challenges. I am writing a P selector where color I am giving purple. See now what happens? P is inside div and P is inside body also. What happens? There are three different style rules for the same element. By this time what happens? Yes, P overrides div, div overrides body. So now tell me, the output will be in which color? Green, yellow or purple? It will be in purple. Specificity. Browser is going to assign a weight. Okay. Now, since I have introduced two more classes, class selector and ID selector. So let me take dot first, and its color I am using color only because you will find the changes. Okay, color I am using blue. So what happens? First is a class which is inside the body, but I have said body color should be in green. But what happens here? First is a class selector, right? It is going to override this. It means browser assigns higher priority for this. Finally, this message will be printed in which color? Blue color. Now, ID selector, right? ID name A. So I am going to give color something like pink. So now what happens? This ID is also within body. Body color I have set as green, but ID is going to override. This is how it is working. Finally, this content college will be printed in pink color. Okay. So finally, close style, also close body. So you cannot expect every time to take a same kind of example and illustrate different topics. So that will not work here. Based on the topic content, we are supposed to code programs on that basis only. Okay. So now, so this is where I feel this program illustrate the specificity easily for you. Okay. So now, so once you run this program, tell me how the output occurs. You can notice the output here I have displayed, where high is printed in which color? Which color? Purple. The contents within the div, which is program 1 and program 2, is displayed in which color? Which color? Purple color only. And content of first class is displayed in blue color, and ID class, ID selector content is printed in pink color. Sorry, I made mistake, I think so. Hi will be printed in purple color only. It means even though you have set the properties for body and div, it has been overridden. This is what I mean to say specificity. Different style rules are applied to same element. Browser is going to make a decision, okay, by assigning a weight for each of the style rule, okay. Based on that, it is going to display the content. This is what specificity, okay. So next is about last one, location. Yes, location means I am going to take very simple example, that is HTML, head, style, and I am taking P, color blue, okay. Then hence the style, hence the head, now body, there I am using P, okay. So this is what type of style? Internal style, or you can say it as an embedded style, is it right? So this, what is this? Style equals color yellow. I am going to print hi, okay. Very simple example. Close body, also close HTML. Okay, very simple example. So according to you, what might be the output? Either hi is printed in blue color nor in yellow color. Yes, this is what you have to understand in this location principle. It says that recent location or recent one will be executed according to the browser. It means that inline style has an highest priority than the embedded style. Even though both are occurring in a same program, still the recent one is now inline style, okay. So finally the output hi paragraph is printed in yellow color, not in blue color. This is what location, okay. So this is all about how style interacts, okay. So next thing is that, next topic we will move on, that is box model. So box model, let me represent it first. This is content, okay, and this is margin, and this is border, yes, this is how you can represent the box model. So content is nothing but a text area. So okay, this text area, it means within adding space within an element is called as padding. You can give an outline for a content, that is what we call it as border. Border is used to separate one element from another. And margin. Margin means adding space around the element. So this is about box model, and also for each type of data you can set the background style. So let me start with a background property. Later on you can understand these padding, border, margin, each and everything one by one. Okay. So now I am going to discuss on background. So how to set the background properties. Which are all the properties available for background? Now take an example. Okay. So now background is a shorthand property used to style background image or background color, or background is a shorthand property used to style background image or background color or background position or background attachment, so on like that. So now first one I am going to take background color property. So now background color, what happens? I can set red. Okay. So now what happens? Whatever the content present, for that in background the red color will be printed. Okay. Red color background will be set. Okay. Next one is background image. So this is one which is used while using img tag. You can set the image to the background of the output window by using the property called background image. For example, how to use this means URL, and within the parenthesis, if the image name is rose.jpg, that has to be given in this way. By this time in the background this image is going to display. Okay. For example, let me code a program in this way, that is HTML head style. Okay. Now body. For body I am giving a property. Okay. After that hand the style, also hand the head. Okay. Now I am going to continue this side. Okay. Open the body. There I am giving some message MIT. So close it. Also close the body. Are you getting? Also close the HTML. So now what happens? I have set the background property for entire body content. So once you run this program, you can notice the output changes where the background color is in red color, and in background the image, this one is going to print. Okay. So and also you can notice that I have given image once to print it in the background, but it is repeatedly printing that a flower in the background, since the property called background repeat is been executing by default. Okay. How means? There is a property called background repeat. So it is running by default. If you want if you wish not to repeat again and again, you can set the property no repeat. No repeat. Now you run the program, you look at the output, the flower has been printed only once in the background, since you have set the property no repeat. Getting? And also you can have few more. Background repeat has 4 values. for this property, repeat, no repeat. It has few more properties called X repeat, which is going to print in X axis horizontally, and Y repeat, which is going to print in vertical. Okay, so this is what all about background repeat. Okay, so now let me give no repeat only. Okay, so after this you have seen how actually the output is going to differ. Along with that, I am going to introduce two more properties called background position. So in which position you like to display the background image? You want to print it in the top, you can give a property top. Either you wish to print it in the right top, andre right side top corner. So now by making this change, let me run the program. You can notice the background image is been displayed on the right side top corner. Okay, so instead of these values, you can change by right, left, center, top and bottom. So you can do all these exercises. Okay, now at the same point of time, I am going to introduce one more property of background, that is background attachment. So background attachment, in the sense, there are two values, either you can give fixed or you can give scroll. Okay, so in order to illustrate this content, I have to write multiple paragraphs in the program. Okay, so assume there are around more than 100 lines of paragraph in your body content. Okay, what happens when there are huge number of lines? Once you run the program in an output window, you need to scroll that page to look into all the outputs. So by that time, what difference you can notice means, you have given the background image, right, flower. So that is going to print it on the right top corner, where once you use the property called background attachment and the value has fixed means, even though you scroll the output page, the image is going to be displayed in the next page of your output window. Instead of fixed, if you have used scroll, so you observe the output differences. Instead of fixed, if you use scroll means, if there are huge number of lines in the body, it may take multiple pages to display the output in a window. So when you scroll down, when the value is scroll means, an image will not be displayed in the next upcoming pages of the output window. Okay, are you getting? So this is all about background property. Okay. So next is all about border. So I am going to talk on border. So why borders are used? Okay, so borders are used to visually separate elements from each other. Borders are used to visually separate elements from each other. Okay, so now how to set a border? For example, I am going to take P element selector. Okay, there I am using color green as a font color. Then I am taking a property border. This border has three more properties. One is border style, one is border width, and another one is border color. Okay, so now border style is used for styling the border. Okay, you can set the style for 4 sides of the border. Okay, either you can set any sides of the border, it depends. Okay, now border style has varieties of values. I am going to shortlist those things. Now, one is solid style. Okay, another one is dotted, dashed, double, groove, inset, outset, none, hidden. Okay, so now you can use any one has a value for a border style. So when you use solid, the border will be in solid type, dotted, dashed, double. So by making use of different types of border style in your code, you can notice changes. None means you are not setting any border at all. Hidden means it will be hidden in the background. Okay. So this is all about border style. Next is about border width. So for border width, you can give values in 4 types. Either you can give thick, thin, medium, or else in terms of units, for example 10 pixel, or you can say 15 points, or you can say 25%. In any way you can give a width to a border. Okay. So finally next one is border color. Okay, border color, how you change a font color, likewise you can give a border color either in red, yellow, something like that, or else you can give it in the values like RGB. In any way you can give the values. For example, I am giving border style as solid. Okay, border width I am giving something 200 pixel. Okay, now border color I am giving yellow. Okay, so and finally close this element selector, also close style and also close head. Okay, here I am going to continue with the body part. Okay, so now open the body. Here I am going to write what I am going to write, P and one message called MIT, and another paragraph P, a message called college. Okay, now close the body and also close the HTML. So now after running this program, you can notice the changes in the output, how the content of the paragraph are printed in green color and border style is solid and border width is 200 pixel and border color is in yellow color. Okay, at the same point of time I need to mention one more type of property, that is when you give a border style means you are setting the style for 4 sides of the border. Okay, but you can also change those types. How means, for example, I am going to erase this. Okay, I can give border top style. This is one property which you are giving separately for the top side of the border. Likewise, you can change it by bottom or right side or left side. Border top style, border bottom style, border left style and border right style. So for separately for each side of the border you can change the styles. Likewise in case of border width also, border top width how much you wish, you can give left width, right width and bottom width. Okay, in the same way you can change all the sides of the border color by giving a property called border top color, border bottom color, border border left color and border right color. So this is how the border topic can be, border property can be used in our program for styling the paragraph or a content, or which is used for separating one element from another element, okay, which is used for visual purpose. Okay, so this is all about today's topic. Thank you.